4 News Now, 2 kids killed in a Millwood house fire. What we know about the desperate attempts to save them.
It's going to be a dry Halloween, a little bit chilly, but I'll let you know how cold it is going to get. Plus, I am tracking some rain on the way in the forecast.
And big changes could be on the way to Plants Ferry Sports Complex in the Valley. What the park will look like if the $40 million project is approved. You're watching 4 News Now Special Edition.
Thick smoke blowing into the air. This is what firefighters found early this morning at a house fire in Millwood. Flames surrounding the entire house there. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Kirsten O'Connor.
And I'm Derek Dice. 2 young children, ages 7 and 9, died in the fire, despite firefighters' best efforts to save them. The Spokane Valley Fire Department received the call that the house is on fire with 2 people still inside at just before 3 o'clock this morning. The fire department is only about 7 blocks away, so firefighters were there in a matter of minutes, but the flames spread quickly. By the time they arrived, the front of the house was engulfed in flames. Crews entered the home looking for the 2 young kids. When firefighters found them, they brought them outside and did CPR on both of the kids for about 45 minutes, but they couldn't be saved.
It hits the community hard, and it hits our guys hard too. This is personal for them. They take their job very seriously, and having a situation like this where they respond and have to deal with the worst of the worst. They train for it, but obviously it's going to be very difficult on everybody, and our hearts this morning are going to be with the family having to deal with this tragedy.
A firefighter who was injured in the fire has been treated and released from a local hospital. The father of the kids was injured and taken to the hospital as well. 2 dogs died in the fire. The cause is still under investigation. We'll update you with any new information as soon as it becomes available.
Well, traveling to North Spokane just got a little more difficult. All northbound lanes of the Maple Street Bridge will be closed from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. This is happening all week. Only 1 southbound lane will be open. This is part of a months-long construction project meant to expand the life of the bridge, and the city says the project is still on schedule to be finished by mid-November.
All right, you want to keep those raincoats handy because we have multiple days of wet weather on the way.
Let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker in your first alert forecast.
Well, the good news is that multiple round of wet weather is going to hold off until after Halloween and trick-or-treaters are done. Clear and cold tonight. Here are 4 things to know about your weather. Partly sunny for Halloween, although the clouds will increase late in the day. Cloudy for trick-or-treat, but dry, and those clouds will actually keep our temperature from dropping quite as quickly as it has the past several nights. We have rain coming in by late Wednesday night, maybe more like early Thursday morning. In the meantime, here's a look at some of the temperatures that will greet you as you head out the door tomorrow morning. We'll be bottoming out in the 20s tomorrow morning, 20 in Deer Park, 21 in Spirit Lake, just 20 in downtown, or excuse me, 22 in downtown Spokane. High temperatures on Tuesday, however, will be right around average. 49 is our average high, 51 in downtown Spokane, Liberty Lake and Post Falls, 52 in Spokane Valley. Again, with those clouds, we will not cool down quite as quickly as we would otherwise, but we will be in the 30s by 9 o'clock. We are getting closer to heavy coat weather all the time, and Coats for Kids is wrapping up its collection tomorrow. You can drop off a new or gently used warm winter coat on one of the locations on your screen: STCU, Papa Murphy's, the Flying Squirrel, as well as Chaz. Alsco is already getting the used coats cleaned, and we're getting them into the hands of kids who really need them. If you don't have time to make a drop-off tomorrow, you can always donate your funds at KXLY.com/coatsforkids. Derek?
All right, Chris, thank you. The president wants every school in the country to have a supply of Narcan on hand. The Biden administration also wants teachers, staff, and students trained on how to use it. Narcan works by blocking the effects of opioids on the brain and restoring breathing. It has to be given at the first sign of an overdose to be effective. According to the Journal of the American Medical Association, more than 5,000 children and teens have died from overdoses involving fentanyl. The FDA approved Narcan for over-the-counter use earlier this year. Now, tomorrow night, the master plan to renovate a 95-acre sports complex in Spokane Valley will go before the city council.
The plan will outline the renovations in mind for the Plants Ferry Sports Complex, which would bring a wide variety of improvements for athletes and spectators. Plants Ferry is along Upriver Drive, right alongside the Spokane River. Jordan Smith was there today. He breaks down the plans for these fields and why they're needed.
Well, the goal is to create a better future for sports here at the Plant Ferry Sports Complex, particularly with the growth that they've seen in Spokane Valley. Now, the city hopes to transform and renovate this 95-acre sports complex in phases to bring better parking, more amenities, and of course, newer fields for the kids to have fun.
In Spokane County, options are limited when it comes to field selection. At Plants Ferry, these fields have served thousands of athletes, but they're beginning to wear.
I'd say since the COVID thing, it's just kind of gone slowly, gradually downhill. And
Hall noted that the grass is quick to die and get worn down throughout the park.
I mean, obviously the trees are, defoliaging and everything's kind of green, but you come out here in the summertime when it's nice and hot and it's a whole different story.
Other parents saying the fields aren't level and in desperate need of a makeover. So the city and county partnered together to create a comprehensive master plan to bring nearly $40 million worth of renovations to these facilities. The first phase is to add 3 full-size turf soccer fields. Each one comes with complete lighting and with new parking opportunities. Phase 2A will revamp the 7 grass fields, improving circulation and leveling out fields that have become warped with use. And Phase 2B brings the focus to the diamond. 5 total fields will embrace new turf infields, LED lighting, and a brand new set of batting cages.
And that master plan will go before the city council members tomorrow night. We'll be sure to keep an eye on that and keep you up to date with what happens next. In Spokane Valley, Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
Fun. Thanks, Jordan. Still ahead, the Queen of Halloween in Spokane Valley almost retired her crown for good.
Why she decided to come back better than ever, coming up.
And as we approach the NFL trade deadline tomorrow, the Seattle Seahawks were getting busy today, beefing up their defense. Coming up, see what Pro Bowl player they added to their new roster.
Download the KXLY Plus app on your connected TV.
4 News Now is brought to you by Rebath Spokane.
Do you have concrete floors that look like this? Let Everhart Painting Floor Coating Specialists transform your floors with their multi-step coating system. The finished product is spectacular. Call Everhart Painting today and receive $500 off. Everhart Painting, your painter for life.
Save big this fall with Fafe Machinery. With our limited time cash discounts, you can get a new John Deere 3025E for only $23,500. Stop by a Fafe Machinery Ag and Turf store today. Fafe keeps you moving.
Get ready to scream. It's Live's Halloween Tuesday.
Nice. Better.
Yeah. With over 50 costumes and fun surprises. Spend Halloween with Live Tuesday.
Start living your life to the fullest by living simply in a tiny home from Portable Cedar Cabins. Less is truly more with all the amenities and comforts of a traditional home with a much smaller footprint. Each home is custom built and ready for you to move in and start enjoying the little things in life, including financial freedom. Homes from Portable Cedar Cabins are about half the price of the competition and about a quarter of the cost of a traditional home. Contact Portable Cedar Cabins today. Your worry-free tiny home is waiting for you just north of Spirit Lake, Idaho on Highway 41.
Honestly, dude, I did the most shocking thing today. It was just something I never thought I'd do.
Did your parents find out?
My mom cried.
What'd you do?
From refinishing cabinets, doors, and trim to painting walls and ceilings, Everhart Painting has you covered. Everhart Painting has been Spokane's premier painting contractor for over 50 years. Call Everhart Painting today and receive $500 off. Everhart Painting, your painter for life.
We are quickly approaching the halfway point of the NFL season. Many of the top teams are starting to separate themselves from the pack, and that includes the Seattle Seahawks.
While the young roster is filled with talent on both sides of the ball, there's always a need for a veteran presence. Alex Crescenti is here on the big move General Manager John Schneider made before the trade deadline today.
Yeah, that's right. The Seahawks are riding quite the high, winners of 2 in a row as they sit atop the NFC West standings at the halfway point of the season. And today, some good news on the defensive side of the ball as the team traded for Pro Bowl defensive lineman Leonard Williams. In return, Seattle's given up a 2024 second-round pick and a 2025 fifth-rounder. Williams spent his whole career out in New York, splitting times between the Jets and the Giants. However, through 8 games this season, he's only got 13 tackles and 1.5 sacks. But head coach Pete Carroll believes he can be a valuable asset on that D-line.
He's an all-around player. He's versatile, run and pass, rush the passer, cause issues and problems for your opponent. He's a terrific kid. He's a leader and a competitor and just the kind of guy that, you know, you're fortunate to have on your team.
And the Washington State Cougars are still searching for their first win in more than a month. Their losing streak now sits at 4 games after falling to Arizona State over the weekend in a game that saw the defense give up more than 500 yards to one of the worst offenses in the conference. But despite the recent struggles, this team knows they're not too far off from getting that winning feeling back and becoming bowl eligible for an 8th straight season.
You know, we talked about it this morning 5 weeks ago. You know, we were on top of the world, and that team's still sitting in that room, right? So why did your belief change, or why would it change? As soon as you let doubt creep in, you know, now you don't trust your assignment. Now you're not doing your job. Now you're not executing to the best of your ability, right? You're searching plays. And yes, I do believe that's what happened, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
And after just 1 home game in the last month, the Cougs are going to return to Giesa Field this Saturday as they welcome in Stanford, a team they haven't lost to since 2016. So they don't want to see that streak end now. Chris, send it back over to you.
Thank you, Alex. Here's a look at your Tuesday planner. High temperature of 49, just about average. We will see the clouds increasing throughout the day, but no rain for trick-or-treaters. That is not the case in the 7-day forecast. I'll let you know when to expect it after the break.
Download the KXLY Plus app for live updates all day.
Did you see this? It says most people are going to need long-term care that health insurance and Medicare won't cover.
I saw that, and it got me thinking, if I need to pay for home modifications or in-home care, I am not prepared. Are you?
Not really. I mean, whatever happens, I just want to know that I'll be able to get care and stay in my own home as I age.
Right? I want that too. So,
Find out how the WA Cares Fund can help.
My name is Lara, and Prime Source made it possible for me to own a car. I live in Stanwood, Washington, and my credit union is in Spokane. If there are people trying to get an auto loan, do not go anywhere but Prime Source. Great customer service. I would highly recommend Prime Source Credit Union because they really care about you.
Refinance with Prime Source Credit Union. Contact us for details.
Hi, I'm Michelle with APH Buys Homes, and we buy houses for cash. We're local home buyers who help homeowners in difficult situations get paid fast. Inherited houses, foreclosures, family disputes, rented or vacant, even nicer homes you just can't keep up with. We buy them all. So before you call anyone else, give us a call for a free cash offer. Just call 509-818-1800. That's 509-818-1800.
As police officers, public safety isn't just a talking point.
It's what we do. And Betsy Wilkerson has not made it easier to keep Spokane safe.
This isn't political spin, these are the facts. Betsy stalled on banning drugs in the midst of record overdoses.
And voted to defund drug investigations.
She voted twice against banning homeless camps near schools.
I want a city council that has my back when I'm protecting theirs.
The choice is clear. Vote Kim Please for city council president.
Andes Heating, Cooling, Electrical. Guarantees to keep your home safe and warm. Your comfort is Andes' priority. Get ready for the cold with a high-efficiency furnace from Carrier and turn to the experts. Andes offers a wide range of top-quality heating systems that are both reliable and environmentally friendly. Andes' team of experts are highly trained and experienced, so you can trust Andes to diagnose and fix any issue efficiently. Andes Heating, Cooling, Electrical. Your trusted Carrier experts since 1972.
4 News Now is brought to you by Rebath Spokane.
Welcome back. For the 30th year in a row, Spokane Valley's favorite Halloween display is ready for trick-or-treaters.
Chris Shepard calls herself the Queen of Halloween, but after tragedy struck earlier this month, her tradition almost came to an end. Instead, she decided to go bigger and better than ever. Allison Martinez shares her story.
For the 30th year, this house in Spokane Valley is showcasing an enormous Halloween display. The community loves this spot so much, they've deemed its owner the Queen of Halloween. Thousands of lights, hundreds of blow-up characters, and more spooky fixtures fill the yard of Chris Shepard, or the Queen of Halloween.
You probably haven't seen much like this before because it's so huge. I even go up into the neighbor's yard with their permission.
The Queen grew up in this house and has seen generations enjoy her hard work.
We just had people come and then they come back a few years later and they have their own kids and then grandkids, so it's definitely a multi-generational display.
But this year, the tradition almost came to an end. Shepard's husband, Mark, unexpectedly passed away from a rare heart disease just last week.
It was hard, but I did it. And he always said to me, I go, do you want me to stay here with you and watch out for you while you sleep and stuff? Because no, you go do you. You go be you.
So instead of bringing this tradition to an end, Shepard decided to make it bigger and better.
He was the king of Halloween, and I'm still the queen of Halloween.
To see this display for yourself, you can come by tonight or tomorrow. The Queen of Halloween herself will be here at 1733 South Bettman Road, ready for trick-or-treaters. Reporting in Spokane Valley, Allison Martinez, 4 News Now.
Such a sweet story. Thank you, Allison. Well, Halloween is also the deadliest day of the year for pedestrians. In fact, the Journal of the American Medical Association says the risk of being hit and killed by a car is 43% higher on Halloween.
And the reasons are fairly obvious when you think about it. There's a lot more people walking on the streets after dark, and as all parents know, kids are really distracted.
That's scary because the kids are excited and running to get to the next house because they want more candy and probably aren't, paying as much attention or listening as well because of that.
Now, it's good to remind your kids about the danger before you head out. Try to get them to walk between houses, not run, and keep an especially close eye on kids wearing masks that can make it harder for them to see. There's also a risk for costume kids riding in car seats, so make sure there's not too much slack in those seat belts that can add to the risk if you're in an accident.
Still ahead, the president taking on artificial intelligence. How the Biden administration plans on keeping AI in check next.
Download the KXLY Plus app for weather every 10 minutes.
You know, Peyton, hosting the CMA Awards with you was truly something special.
Luke, it was the stuff of legends. Hello.
Who's calling at a time like this?
Wait a minute. You want us to host the CMA Awards again? I gotta be honest, we're in the middle of riding off into the sunset.
They want us to host again?
Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, if I turned my back on the CMA Awards, what kind of hosting icon would I be?
Hosting icons.
Oh.
Plural. They called my phone, Luke. So, should we give it another shot?
Yeah, I think we do it.
We're in. Back to Nashville.
Yeah, how you get off this thing?
Yeah, little help here? You all right?
I got it.
Get ready for fall with a John Deere compact utility tractor. Now through October, get a 1025R tractor loader backhoe for as low as $299 per month. Visit your Pape Machinery Ag and Turf store today. Pape keeps you moving.
With so much at stake, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 newscast and the #1 program on television.
Four News Now is brought to you by Super One Foods.
Welcome back. Fans are leaving flowers outside of the home used as the backdrop for the show Friends as the world mourns the loss of Matthew Perry. He died over the weekend in an apparent accident at his home.
His Friends co-stars shared a statement today saying, "We are all so utterly devastated by the loss of Matthew. We were more than just castmates. We are a family. There's so much to say, but right now we're going to take a moment to grieve and process this unfathomable loss. In time, we will say more, as and when we are able. For now, our thoughts and our love are with Mattie's family, his friends, and everyone who loved him around the world."
Well, artificial intelligence technology is advancing rapidly, and the federal government is scrambling to try to keep up.
That's why President Biden issued an executive order aimed at limiting AI's power to hold developers accountable.
Realize the promise of AI and avoid the risk. We need to govern this technology.
The order includes things like requiring all AI developers to share results of their safety tests with the federal government before they are released to the public. Also developing best practices to minimize the risk of AI displacing human workers. Some experts say getting AI regulation right is critical.
They're not freewheeling technologies. They're more like pharmaceuticals. You get them wrong and people die.
The executive order also encourages responsible AI development, which includes a plan to ease immigration barriers for skilled workers to study and stay in the U.S.
All right, fighting for a parking spot at the Kootenai County Elections Office. The changes the county is making to prevent this crash from happening again.
Download the KXLY Plus app for weather every 10 minutes.
Save big this fall with Pape Machinery. With our limited time cash discounts, you can get a new John Deere 3025E for only $23,500. Stop by a Pape Machinery Ag and Turf store today. Pape keeps you moving.
Why join UFCW 3000? I'm the lead person when we negotiate with employers for better wages, benefits, and working conditions.
You've heard the phrase, strength in numbers.
Well, it sure helps when you have over 50,000 union members supporting one another.
Thanks, UFCW 3000.
Our website can both answer your questions and connect you with our team who can help you explore your union opportunities.
You're feeding it.
I will, I promise. Thanks to our Premier Rewards Visa credit card from ICCU, we earned enough cash back to stock up on puppy supplies.
But we don't have a puppy.
They're very convincing children.
My name is Stephen, and this is my Summit Cancer Center story. I had a large tumor in my left lung in November of 2018. We went through in 2020 doing a lot of end-of-life planning. Summit was very aggressive in my treatment of diagnosis. Since then, with my recovery, we're doing a lot of life events. I love the people there. I would recommend Summit Cancer Center. My wife calls it a miracle.
Expect even more from KXLY Plus. Live updates from the 4 News Now team. Breaking news as it happens. Weather every 10 minutes. Free on your time. Download the app, connect to your streaming TV, and connect on KXLY Plus.
4 News Now is brought to you by Ace Hardware.
Welcome back. Election Day is 8 days away, but voters are already starting to cast their votes. During early voting in Kootenai County, there's been some trouble at the elections office. Police were called at least twice last week. One of the times was for a car crash in the parking lot.
It's why election officials are making some changes to where people can park if they'd like to pass out flyers or hold up signs. Bronte Sorotsky is in Kootenai County with the story.
We're just a little over a week away from Election Day here in Kootenai County, and things have been tense. Just last week, police responded to a collision here in the elections office parking lot.
It felt reckless.
Early Wednesday morning, Krista Hazel got a call from her friend that was volunteering outside the Kootenai County Elections Office. Their car had just been hit by another person, hoping to use that spot for electioneering.
I've been involved in Kootenai County politics for close to 30 years. I've never seen anything like this.
The Kootenai County Elections Office requires anyone wanting to hand out election flyers or put up signs to do so at least 100 feet away. People have been setting up early to claim a spot to do this. The county clerk says she believes it's what caused Wednesday's collision.
The first 3 spots were past the 100 feet mark, and they were parking there, and that was what caused that incident, I believe, on Wednesday morning.
After that incident, Locke says the elections office met with its legal team, as well as county commissioners, to figure out a plan.
So we ended up putting up some signs from our building and grounds manager, just saying in the parking lot of the county that if you're not doing county business, you need to be doing county business or coming here to vote, to park in these spots.
She asks that people respect voters and don't block them from exercising their right to vote. Since Wednesday, things have gotten better here at the elections office, something Locke credits to their recent changes. Reporting in Kootenai County, Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
Well, on the ballots, 2 controversial measures voters are being asked to approve. Those are Measure 1, a proposed sales tax increase that would pay for a new jail and other criminal justice projects. The second is Prop 1. If approved, it would be illegal to camp near certain places in the city of Spokane, like schools and daycares. To see why people are for and against either of these measures, just look for the ballot breakdown stories on KXLY.com. And if you have any questions about public safety, camping ordinances, or anything on the November ballot, we are asking for you to send us a message. Go to KXLY.com and look for our For the People stories.
Well, some good advice from my daughter, Gabby, pictured here in this time lapse. Do your raking now. Rake up those leaves while they're nice and dry and crisp and easy to rake. Maybe you'll even get it done as fast as she is, because it's going to be a wet, sloppy mess very, very soon. Today, we had a high temperature of 46. 50 is our average high, but look at our morning low, only 23, more than 10 degrees below average. 5:36 is our sunset time these days. 24 for an overnight low tonight with clear skies. Partly sunny tomorrow. The clouds will increase the second half of the day. 49, pretty close to our average high. High pressure is still in control, but that is going to begin flattening over the next couple of days, allowing the clouds in at first and then allowing the precipitation in by early Thursday morning, mostly in the form of valley rain and high mountain snow. Our temperatures are going to be running a little above average, even with the wet weather. 90% chance of rain on Thursday. That drops to 40 on Friday, but then begins increasing again as we get into what could be a fairly soggy weekend at times. Again, really advising any raking happen here in the next couple of days, because, you know, once those leaves get really wet, it is a heavy mess. Morning lows across the region will be in the 20s in most spots, 40s and 50s tomorrow for high temperatures. Your planning forecast, that rain comes in Thursday, sticks around for Friday and Saturday, and we have more wet weather heading into next week as well. Overnight lows through the extended forecast, they'll be back up around freezing by Wednesday night. Derek?
All right, Chris, thank you. People who use eye drops are being urged to stop using 26 different products. The FDA says there's a risk of infection that could result in partial vision loss or even blindness. The brands are CVS Health, Leader, Rugby, Rite Aid, Target, Up and Up, and Velocity Pharma. The FDA recommended the manufacturer of the products recall all lots last week. Investigators found unsanitary conditions in the manufacturing facility where critical drug production areas tested positive for bacteria.
Well, the eastbound off-ramp to Highway 2 from I-90 will be closed tomorrow. The Washington Department of Transportation suggests taking the Garden Springs exit to Sunset Boulevard to Highway 2 as an alternate.
All right, the Washington State Cougars trying to get back in the win column after more than a month, and the key to doing so could come on the defensive side of the ball. Coming up in sports, Alex Crescenti tells us what head coach Jake Dickert wants to see from his guys this weekend.
Download the KXLY Plus app for weather every 10 minutes.
If something's missing in your morning without a McDonald's breakfast, then try a new bagel sandwich. With fluffy egg, melty cheese, and your choice of a steak patty with grilled onion or bacon or sausage, well, those will fill the void deliciously. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Expect even more from KXLY Plus. Live updates from the 4 News Now team. Breaking news as it happens. Weather every 10 minutes. Free on your time. Download the app, connect to your streaming TV, and connect on KXLY Plus.
When I was told I had a brain tumor, my life disappeared in a moment. I feared for my future, but even more, I feared for the ones I love. How would they move on without me? But when my doctor told me about the Gamma Knife of Spokane, everything changed. I can get my brain tumor treated in just one day and continue living the life I love. Because of Gamma Knife, I have hope.
Fred Meyer gives you so many ways to save. On top of our lower than low prices, enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. Earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon. And with a Boost membership, you'll save even more with double fuel points and free delivery. Plus, our weekly sales will keep your budget merry and bright. So get rewarded and save. Fred Meyer, fresh for everyone.
Start living your life to the fullest by living simply in a tiny home from Portable Cedar Cabins. Less is truly more with all the amenities and comforts of a traditional home with a much smaller footprint. Each home is custom built and ready for you to move in and start enjoying the little things in life, including financial freedom. Homes from Portable Cedar Cabins are about half the price of the competition and about a quarter of the cost of a traditional home. Contact Portable Cedar Cabins today. Your worry-free tiny home is waiting for you just north of Spirit Lake, Idaho on Highway 41.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war, the worst attack in 50 years. Israel waging a fierce bombardment of Gaza.
When it matters most, America turns to David Muir and ABC's World News Tonight.
I think they like each other.
I'm Charles. Lunch?
Vanessa. I like lunch.
Give in to deliciousness. Buy one craveable classic and get another one for $1. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
4 News Now is brought to you by Curien Spokane.
Well, the Washington State football team is trying to get back on track.
The Cougars dropped their 4th straight game on Saturday. Alex Crescenti was with the team in Pullman today. Alex?
Yeah, Washington State hasn't experienced a 4-game losing streak since 2014. And it's just hard to fathom that 5 weeks ago, they were sitting at number 13 in the country and trying to play spoiler in that Pac-12 race. But the glaring issue over the last month or so has been the defense, specifically tackling. If you watch any of the Cougs games during this stretch, it's very obvious they have not done a good job at that. Wrapping up opposing offenses has been a challenge to say the least. On Saturday, it was Elijah Badger that was giving the defense all kinds of fits. And while there was a delicate balance between rest and physicality in practice, head coach Jake Dickert says his guys can get better by just using some simple geometry.
There's been a couple games where it's been, I'm trying to think which one it was where we didn't wrap up. I think that was UCLA. This last game, it was all about our tracking angles in space. You know, so you can do a lot of that stuff without contact and tagging hips. And Elijah Badger is a great player. But we made him look like we couldn't tackle at all against him, right? And that was probably 4 or 5 times. So That's the biggest thing you can work in space, is working your angles. That's what tackling is. It's not just about the contact, but having the right angle in pursuit and knowing what hip you need to finish on.
Now, the Cougs are going to return home this weekend to face off against Stanford, a team they haven't lost to since 2016. And this game is going to be vital for the Cougs in terms of bowl eligibility. With 4 games left in the regular season, they still need 2 wins to get to that 6-game threshold. I don't think anyone wants to be at 4 or 5 wins, as Colorado and Washington are looming in a few weeks. Now, across the border, the Idaho Vandals moved up to number 3 in the latest State Perform FCS Top 25 poll. They're coming off a huge win over Montana State this weekend to get their first to go to first place in the Big Sky Conference. And with just 3 weeks left in the regular season, they have a very real shot to win it outright, but head coach Jason Eck doesn't want his guys to have a letdown as they face 0-8 Northern Colorado this weekend.
At this point in the season, you're concerned about keeping your team fresh. So I think, I was looking at the schedule before I came down here, probably going to try to, maybe shorten practice another 5 minutes. We shortened it a little bit last week, but we still want great intensity. What I don't want to do is cut the intensity down. I want to keep the intensity and just shorten the time out on the field to make sure that we're fresh and playing fast.
Now, the Vandals are going to travel out to Greeley this weekend as their 3 remaining opponents have a combined record of 6-15. Chris, send it over to you.
5 minutes, he's going to cut their practice down. That ought to keep them fresh. Here's a look at, I just had to laugh. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. Rain, it is on the way. It's coming Thursday. Thankfully, we'll be dry and not really all that cold for trick-or-treaters. Not balmy by any means, but we've had colder Halloweens for sure.
My youngest, Danny, is like going to be Ken from Ken and Barbie.
Yeah, sure.
And it's like jean jacket with no shirt on underneath. So there's going to be a lot of goosebumps, I think. He's going to be cold.
He's a tough kid. I think he'll be good.
Yeah. A lot of the kids, though, are going to be all upset about wearing coats. So I don't see Danny wearing a coat over that.
No, he's not. Guaranteed.
We'll see you at 11.